Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hi there, I'm Lisa Hooker, and this is Fairfield Today from Fairfield Medical Center. We have two topics for you today. One is the Health Fest, a community education event presented by Fairfield Medical Center, and something you're not going to want to miss. We're going to start, though, with the opiate epidemic that is occurring in Fairfield County and too many other places across our state, and how Fairfield Medical Center is working to resolve it. My guests today are Jody Hildenbrand, Supervisor of Patient Representatives and Chaplain Services, and Michelle Duncan, who is the Intake Coordinator for Substance Abuse Stabilization Unit and the Project Dawn Coordinator. We hear a lot in the news about the fact that Fairfield County is facing an opioid epidemic. I understand those words are both used across our community. And Fairfield Medical Center is among the local organizations that are trying to combat it through education, awareness, medical services, support services to help save lives and support families. So Jody and Michelle are here today, and we're going to talk about some upcoming initiatives through FMC that aim to address the problem in our community. Jody, in August, on the 17th and 18th, FMC is going to be hosting the Opioid Addiction Symposium at Crossroads. Can you tell us about this two-day event?
Yes, we've been working really hard on the two-day event. The theme for the symposium is the opposite of addiction is connection. So our goal is to bring clinicians, community members, families all together because we know it's going to take a community approach. The first day focuses on the clinical management of addiction, and then the second day is community approach.
So if someone were to sign up for this, would they do both days to get the broader perspective of it, or would they pick and choose maybe the subtopics we're going to get into here in a minute?
They're welcome to come both days, or they're welcome to pick the day. Some of our physicians and clinicians are picking the first day since it focuses on their role. They're welcome to register for both or either or.
So what are some of those specific topics that will be addressed during that event?
Okay, so for the day one, the clinical management, we have Ohio's response to the opiate epidemic. We have our emergency room protocols, including Project Dawn. We have chemical dependency and mental health, so dual diagnosis approach, grief, coping, fatigue from psychologist Dr. Abbott. We have Franklin D. Hurt, who's a well-known psychologist on the subject, talking about addiction, and then Deborah Smith, who's in our community and has a passion and heart, also speaking on the pathophysiology involved with addiction.
That's a broad spectrum of things. So it sounds as if FMC has really thought about the things that different types of folks with different roles in our community would want and need to know to help battle this very ugly scourge in our community. What do you hope people will get out of this?
Knowledge, tools, resources, a better understanding of their role and how to care for addiction and prevent addiction, save lives, as you open the show with. There's so many complexities and issues related to addiction. So we know that there's gaps of knowledge and skills and tools, and that's where we've tried to pull our speakers and expertise to kind of fill in those gaps.
We talked about, Michelle, Project Dawn in the opening, and Fairfield Medical Center recently received a grant from the Ohio Department of Health to participate in Project Dawn. Saw the flyers in the elevator on my way here today. This program has been a great success at Fairfield Medical Center over the past few months. Can you tell me what Project Dawn is, what that acronym stands for, and how it can help people in our community who participate in the program?
Sure. Project Dawn stands for Deaths Avoided with Naloxone. It is a community-based overdose education and training and naloxone distribution program.
Now, is naloxone what people might have heard on the news that is it like, I don't want to say an antidote, but a drug that helps those who are caught in an overdose situation?
Sure. Naloxone or Narcan is a medication that can reverse an overdose caused by an opioid drug. That is the sole purpose of it. Okay. And through the program, the Project Dawn program here at FMC, we can provide free kits to individuals, their families, community members who are at risk themselves or may encounter individuals who are at risk of an unintentional overdose. It would be our hope that our program here would alleviate the unintentional overdoses, overdose fatalities in our community by getting the life-saving intervention into the hands of people who need it.
So what's been the reaction to this so far, to Project Dawn, and how long has it really been in effect? Because I'm betting some, if not many of our viewers aren't even familiar with Project Dawn.
Sure. So there has been, we have had Project Dawn at our hospital since May of 2017. We were the first hospital system in Ohio to have Project Dawn. It's normally been intended to be at like community health departments. Okay. And so we are the first hospital system.
Well, that's something
Ohio.
to be proud of.
Yes.
Not only for FMC, but for our community to be proud of too.
Yes. So we are kind of like a pilot program that, the Ohio Department of Health is really interested to see how we are reaching and educating community members and reaching patients. So the first Project Dawn site was started in Portsmouth Health Department in 2012 and is still up and running today. As of May of 2017, there were 65 Project Dawn sites in 52 counties in Ohio.
And my guess is that tells us a lot about the severity and the widespread nature of the opiate addiction problem that we're seeing across not just our state, but across the country.
Sure. Ohio is one of the leading states, unfortunately, that's facing this opioid epidemic. It is a disaster. I was telling Jody just before we came on here today that 8 people in Ohio die every day from a drug overdose.
Now think about that. 8 people in Ohio die every day from a drug overdose.
Yeah, and that's reported. 1 Ohioan dies every 3 hours of an overdose. So we are definitely facing an epidemic here in Ohio and across the nation.
So Narcan is in the headlines more often. I've heard it just on the news and how different organizations, law enforcement agencies are carrying it, administering it. So how is Narcan distributed through Project Dawn? And how would they receive the medication? Is it free? How many times can they get it? All those details about folks who you mentioned who might benefit from having it available to them.
Right. So people can get naloxone in different ways. One is they can go to a Project Dawn site and they can get it for free of charge. They can get the education, the training. They can also come to community distribution events. We have one scheduled tonight at 5 p.m. here at our hospital.
Okay, now tonight would be July the 13th.
Correct.
So if you're happen to see the show in a rerun, tonight may not mean tonight for when you see it. So just want to make that note.
Right. And our next community scheduled event will be in October. But again, you can get a naloxone kit at any Project Dawn site in Ohio. You can also go to any pharmacy and get it without a prescription. And you can ask the pharmacist for naloxone and they can bill it under the insurances, and your insurance does cover it. You may have a copay. All Medicaid insurances do cover it at 100%. There is no limit to how much Narcan you can get, and there are individuals that can also, again, they can come to the hospital, they can talk to their doctors. There's many places that you can get naloxone.
Have you found families are responding and acquiring the Narcan for either, for whatever circumstance they might find themselves in to need that particular antidote that reverses the opiate reaction and hopefully can prevent the death? Are families responding to this? I can see where they might be a little hesitant, they might be a little afraid, but at the same time, it is a life and death situation in so many cases.
Right. It's just like if your child or someone you loved had an allergy and they needed an EpiPen.
Right.
The EpiPen's there to help save somebody who's having that allergic reaction. The naloxone is there for somebody who is at risk of an unintentional overdose. Now, a lot of times people think that that might only mean for somebody who's struggling with opioid addiction, but there are many other patients that are out there that would benefit to having this at home. Somebody who has COPD and may also get prescribed pain medication because maybe they came in here and had a knee surgery, they would be somebody who would be appropriate to have naloxone at home. If they have other respiratory issues, hepatic functioning, HIV, AIDS, there are certain conditions that if they were also being prescribed opioid pain medication, they should have naloxone at home.
We must remember that opioids are a common pain treatment for legitimate diseases, and unfortunately they have become items that can be abused, and then we see the unintentioned addiction and the unintentioned deaths. So as the Substance Abuse Stabilization Unit Coordinator here at Fairfield Medical Center, I'm guessing you encounter patients and their families every day, probably multiple times, who struggle with this issue. And is it as common as we hear in Fairfield County, in Lancaster, or are we maybe not quite, maybe we don't struggle quite as bad as some other locations we hear about?
Fairfield County, I mean, we get a lot of calls. I am here many late nights. I come in early in the morning. I get a lot of family members, individuals looking for services. A lot of my day is spent trying to help them navigate and locate resources to help their family or their loved ones. So it is a very big issue just across Ohio. But yes, we are doing what we can here to do our part.
I would want our viewers to know that help is available through Fairfield Medical Center and those other resources you can direct them to. Could you share some words of encouragement for them to come forward, that they don't have to face this alone? You work with this every day. What do you share with those families that come in who are really struggling, scared, frightened, really don't know what to do or where to turn? How could you share those words with our viewers today to not be afraid and to come and get the help that either they or their loved one needs?
Right. Stigma is a big part of people who are facing behavioral health or substance abuse issues. And so I want people to know that they're not alone. Recovery is a process, it's not an event, and people do recover. I have a lot of success stories. I wouldn't remain in this business if I didn't have success stories.
And that is good to know, because so often what we hear and see in the media are not the success stories.
Correct. But I've seen a lot. I've seen people on their worst days, but I've seen them at their best too. I've been in this field for over 10 years, and so I've been able to see people where they have made it 2 years, 7 years, sober and are living well, meaningful, well-adjusted lives.
Thank you for sharing that hope, because that is what so many families and individuals who actually have an addiction, for whatever reason they find themselves in that place. I think hope is maybe one of the first things to go. So that is an important message that I wanted to make sure we shared today, Michelle. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And as we continue on and get ready to close, though, I want Jody to remind everyone about the symposium, because it offers hope and information in a whole different way, maybe not day to day, but in a more consolidated way. And since so many of our viewers probably are residential folks, or just home watching it on TV with their families, or thinking of a family member, can you maybe encourage them and explain to them why this event would be appropriate for them to attend, not just the doctors?
Absolutely. And day 2 is really for them. Day 2 is the community approach. So we talk about what's going on right here in Ohio. We're going to have some OB/GYN doctors, children protection services, some drug court solutions, some community members speaking on that day. So they can register for just Friday or both days.
And how do they do that?
They may register on our website, or they can call 740-689-4420, and we can register them over the phone.
And it's free?
It is not free.
Okay.
$25 is for the first day, or one day,
Right.
and $40 if they'd like to go to both days.
Great.
And that money really goes to pay for some of the speakers that we've recruited and the food.
And if you give us the actual dates, so people can maybe mark it down or tuck it away if they don't have something in front of them right now.
Absolutely. August 17th and August 18th from 7:45 to 4:30 at Crossroads Event Center.
And that's on West Fair Avenue, for those of you who may not be familiar with it. Important information about, unfortunately, a growing problem, not just in our county, but so many places. Michelle, thank you. Jody, thank you for being with us today and spreading messages of information and how people can learn and use that information to help themselves, a family member, someone they care about, and most importantly, to provide a little bit of hope, a lot of hope in what can very often seem as a very hopeless situation. So thank you both, and good luck on your ongoing progress in helping people and your upcoming event, Jody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break and be right back with Fairfield Today. Welcome back to Fairfield Today from Fairfield Medical Center. I'm Lisa Hooker. Our next guest today is Risa Tobin. She's a community educator here, and we are going to talk about a very popular, fun event that Fairfield Medical Center has had for a number of years. A long time. The Health Fest. This year it will be on August the 5th. And it has grown and evolved through the years, and Risa's going to talk to us about that a little bit. But its mission, through the growth, has always stayed the same, and that's to promote health and wellness to our community and all of us that live here and play here and call Lancaster and Fairfield County home. So Risa Tobin, community educator here at FMC, is our guest, as I had mentioned, and she has been involved with the Health Fest for a number of years.
Yes.
Yes.
A long time. Back when I was young. Does that mean I'm old now? I'm not
No,
sure.
it means you're older. It doesn't mean that's
more
what that means.
experience.
Exactly.
That's
I agree.
right.
I'm with
That's
you on
right.
that one.
Yeah, but back in the 90s, I actually did the glucose testing when this thing first started.
Oh.
It was a women's health fest. And then it evolved, and we wanted to include the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we did in the year 2000 is we started it different. It's a community health fest.
Oh.
Changed the month that was offered and included
Did
their
it used to be
husbands.
May?
I believe it was in October and
Okay.
in September. But we do like to do things in the spring. We always throw out there, should we change when it's done? But we put it in August because at that time we were kind of focusing on getting the whole family here.
Yes, and that's preschool. I mean, that's
Yes,
before
it's
school
before
starts.
you have to go after your school supplies, those things.
Yes, wonderful. Well, this year I'm betting, like in other years, there are probably some new aspects to
Always
Health Fest.
something new.
And we've come to expect that through the years, not just from Health Fest, but other things Fairfield
Yes.
Medical Center has done. So tell us a little bit about the things that you've never been, that
We've
have never
never
been done
done?
before. Yes.
Okay, we haven't done an art contest, and we did that.
Oh, okay.
So you will see a billboard on that about healthy habits, and we had several children participate in that with their school classes.
Okay.
We also are going to have a fun run, which is called the Color Mile. Okay, and if it's fun, it doesn't mean anybody has to time you.
Right.
You don't feel a lot of pressure with it, and because it's a color, it means you're going to be colorful when you're done.
I understand that. And from the flyer, you can see it kind of portends what is yet to come
That's
with
right.
the Color Mile. So how does the Color Mile work? I am not a runner.
Okay.
I do a little bit on the treadmill, but I don't run out or do races or
this
things
is
like
perfect
that.
for you. If all you want to do is walk your dog and you don't mind giving your dog a bath, then bring your dog. We don't care.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can dress in a costume if you'd like. You can bring your dog, your stroller, whatever you don't mind cleaning up.
Sure.
And it's just for a mile. It is around the fairgrounds. They will have the track marked.
Got it.
And it's not particularly timed, so there's not a lot of pressure. But if you want to run after a time, then do it. You can be done in 3 minutes if you want to be.
So does the Color Run start at a certain time?
It will.
So it's not something that would be ongoing through the day?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, it's going to start at 11.
Okay.
And then we'll get everybody going together. And we have Carrie Woody has graciously agreed to warm us all up and get us cooled down. But it should be a lot of fun. We've not done this before. We've ordered the color cornstarch, in case you've ever been to one. And it's a great moment for some selfies when you're all
Oh,
done.
I bet.
Yeah, especially if you did the costume thing too.
Oh.
And if you
Something to
don't,
think
it's
about.
okay.
It's okay.
Well, yeah, you register for $15. You'll get some colored powder. And you will also get a white t-shirt, so you're whatever color you want to be. And you will also get some eye protection, some kind of a sunglasses kind of thing.
So at the run, is the color put upon you, or do you color yourself?
Well, both.
Both, okay.
Yeah, you don't have to color yourself. As you go through stations along the mile, you get a different color.
Oh.
Yes. So we have lots of people have been signing up to volunteer to help do that. So I don't know. That we have a lot of people want to help with that.
Sure.
That's cute.
And I like the selfie idea if I bring my little dog. He's a little Yorkie.
Yeah.
And that'd be kind of fun. He's got these little legs. And get him all in different colors.
Cute as could be.
Cute as could
That's
be.
right.
Something to think about.
You never know what he's going to look like with purple hair.
No, you no, you would not know what that would mean.
Yeah.
Since it is sponsored by Fairfield Medical Center,
Right.
my guess is there might be some health-related activities,
Yeah.
screenings, things of that sort,
Our-
in addition to the fun. So tell me about
The
that
real
aspect.
focus is to have improved health and wellness lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also to do anything around safety, education, things that you might need to know about with your from health insurance. So we will have several different representatives there from folks that volunteer. What happens is the community comes together to put this on. Fairfield Medical Center, we sponsor this, yes. So we're kind of like the hub, the group that makes it work. We try to do new things with it, but we are just one. And other people come together. So JFS will have some booths there. You'll have chiropractors that are there. You'll have free massages there. You'll have lots of a lot of our different departments are involved in your wellness screenings.
Sure.
So our lab staff, as if you're having your test here,
Right.
will be coming and they will test you and draw your blood there. So you're going to have the same good quality opportunity to have things done there at this event. But it depends on who all comes and what they bring.
Well,
So
sure.
You just never know if you're going to have a dentist that signs up to check for gum cancer. We had that last year, but we haven't had anybody sign up this year.
Okay.
So we put it together, and each year it's flexible. The weekend has changed. It's the first weekend of the month of August, the 5th. And that's different from running it later in the month. Mm-hmm. So not everybody's available at that time. So it just depends. Each year it's a little bit different because of that.
And that makes it interesting for those who come on a regular basis as well as those whom this might be their first time.
Yes. We always have door prizes, so that's always
Love
fun.
door prizes.
Our vendors have door prizes, so you want to stop and see them and how to
Right.
register for theirs. That's kind of separate and different, but every screening you do, you will get a ticket to put in for those door prizes. And door prizes are fun. Everything from Fitbits to another 10 by 10 canopy tent that
Sure.
because your last one blew away maybe this morning.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
The latest storm, so
Yes.
yeah.
You mentioned that this is for the entire family. So
It is.
my guess is there are activities for the young people who would be
Yes,
coming.
so we added in inflatables.
Oh, did you?
Little kids love those. We
Sure
have
they do.
those. The color mile as people get older, but we just have all kinds of things going on so that it includes anything that you want. Now, if you're coming specifically for screenings, we lengthened the day an extra hour for you because last year we had some comments that I can't get everything done. So if you want to come in and get your glucose screen, a test for that, or your cholesterol or blood pressure, something along that line, you still have time to have the other and get to enjoy the other parts of the event.
Because it's Saturday, August 5th from 9 until 2 at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds.
Yes, that's changed. It is at the fairgrounds, but it's at the AAA building and
Got
the Ed Sands building. So we'll have shelter no matter what the weather is,
Which
was
good.
a big push of why we went for buildings.
Yes. What do you attribute the Health Fest success to year after year after year? This is a long-standing event.
It is. Part of it is predictability. That we're going to offer this opportunity. Part of it has to do with the people that come. They're interested in getting this done. Part of it has to do with our vendors, our agencies in our community that make it happen. They like the opportunity to be involved and offer this to the community. And each year there's just a little something different to
Sure.
make it a little more interesting. You'll have anywhere between 300 people come to over 1,000 people come. It just depends on the year, what people want to do.
Well, it's going to be another great event, the Fairfield Medical Center Health Fest, Saturday, August 5th, from 9 to 2 at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds, the AAA building, the Ed Sands building.
Yes.
So it will be protected from heat or rain or whatever Ohio weather throws at us.
That's right.
Now, this is not the only event Fairfield Medical Center has on its calendar. You're hosting the annual Heart and Lung Run later on in August, on August 26th. What
That's
can you tell me
correct.
about that?
Well, that's for the serious runner. Leave your
Yes.
dog behind. She'll slow you down. Just telling you.
Yeah, the little legs are really little. It would not be a good
This
thing.
is early in the morning too. So the color mile is at 11, where
Okay.
this one starts early in the morning. So we're going to start it at 8 a.m. And it's not like the 7:30 where you have to be in Columbus a lot of times. This is local, so we use our funds that we raise for this to help sponsor patients that don't have enough insurance coverage to cover some of the different educational needs that they have.
Okay.
So it goes through the Fairfield County Foundation, and there's criteria for it. But if you like to run, they have nice prizes, and that is offered August the 26th,
Great.
8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Mhm. 8
So,
a.m.
and that too is a Saturday if you are a runner. Mark that down. And then in addition to this, there are a
Other
myriad
things.
of activities, community events, classes. Talk about some of the ones that are offered year round. That so no matter when our audience might see this, if there's maybe
Yes.
the top 2 or 3 that would are most popular or most used by our viewers and those that live in and around the area.
CPR. A lot of
CPR.
people need CPR for a certification course. So we do offer that. It's $35. Not a lot of money, but it is certification. You can get that even as a healthcare provider. Community providers need that in childcare, first aid. We have a babysitting class. So tomorrow I have a whole class of babysitters.
I took babysitting years and years ago.
Yes. Did it help? Do you think it really was a good thing?
It did, and in that day, we talked about back in the day,
Yes.
the Red Cross hosted it. So
Yes, and they still have a program, but this program is run through American Safety and Health Institute. So when your kids leave, they will have full CPR for infants when they're done. They use infant mannequins, and they're pretty well prepared. We talk about growth and development there, what to expect, and why different ages don't play well together.
And babysitting is not as easy as it sounds. And those who are left in
Yeah.
charge of other people's children or younger siblings need certain skills to be able to make sure that all stays well while mom and or dad
That's
or
right.
other caregivers are away.
Yes, so we talk about positive discipline, how to do that. Yes, so that's another popular class, but we have all kinds of parenting classes here as well, and sibling classes. So if you need some courses or you're interested, our monitor lists them faithfully for you.
Yes, Monitor is Fairfield Medical Center's publication. It has them listed, as you said. You can also go online to fmchealth.org for an updated and current list of all the activities, events, classes, and all the things that are going on here at Fairfield Medical Center. So make sure you take advantage of that. They're helpful. Many of them are free. They're open to anyone, so please make sure you check that out. Risa, thank you. Appreciate your
you.
information today. And as we finish up, we wanted maybe just one more time remind us about the Health Fest.
That's right, August the 5th, 9 until 2. Color run is at 11, and it's at the fairgrounds in the AAA building where the Budweiser horses were.
There you go.
And in the Ed Sands building. So we'll have a lot of things going on over there.
Risa Tobin, community educator at Fairfield Medical Center, my second guest today. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have a pleasant day. I'm Lisa Hooker for Fairfield Today from Fairfield Medical Center.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.